Aaron Rodgers has demanded a trade. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ruffing the Passer, the YouTube show where I talk football, miscellaneous stuff, and mostly football. I'm your host, Sam Ruffing. And that's right, Aaron Rodgers, quarterback of the Green Bay Packers for the last 16 years, has declared a trade dating back to a month ago, roughly, April 29th, the day of the draft. And the reason behind it, why Aaron Rodgers, the great quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, reigning MVP, has demanded this trade, is because, as according to reports, it's because of Packers management and GM Brian Gutekunst. I don't know how the heck that's pronounced, but I think that's right. That's what everyone says. And this goes back to, I think, last year when the Packers were at pick 30, I think. I think it was pick 31. And the Packers traded up with the Baltimore Ravens to select quarterback Jordan Love. Now, this was quite surprising to a lot of people, considering Aaron Rodgers had just come off a season where he only threw 2 interceptions. And I honestly was not surprised by the Jordan Love draft pick. I thought it was brilliant, but anyways. But Aaron Rodgers obviously was not too pleased by the Jordan Love draft pick. Well, I should say he's not too pleased by it, but he was more not pleased by the fact that Packers didn't tell him beforehand that they were going to draft Jordan Love, quarterback out of Utah State. And this trade comes a year after that. Trade demand comes a year after that. On the very next draft night, which is hilarious. Now, Aaron Rodgers is complaining that the Packers will not draft him weapons in the first round of the NFL draft. They always wait till late, and then they aren't aggressive in free agency, and all this stuff. And I understand why Aaron Rodgers is mad about that, because weapons are great and all that. And Tom Brady went down to Tampa Bay and just lit it up with Rob Gronkowski, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and that Le'Veon Bell went to the Chiefs. LaShawn McCoy, who did nothing really. Leonard Fournette, Antonio Brown, and Cameron Brate, and yeah. I can understand why Aaron Rodgers is mad a little bit. But on the other hand, you're playing for the Packers, one of the greatest organizations in the history of sports, who haven't done anything like this in the past, and well, look at the results. They're one of the winningest organizations in NFL history. They have the most NFL championships in NFL history, with 13 championships and 4 Super Bowls. And this is why the Packers won't budge, because hasn't worked in the past. I mean, they haven't done anything massive in the past besides signing Reggie White in 1993 free agency, the first year of major free agency. But other than that, not much. Oh, besides Charles Woodson, I guess. And he wants more weapons, but the problem with the Packers, Aaron Rodgers wants more weapons, but the problem with the Packers recently has been defenses collapsing in the playoffs, like NFC Championship games and whatnot. And they keep drafting defensive players to fix it in the first round, so it's not like, they're not trying. They're not perfectly saying, oh, Aaron Rodgers, just go out there and do it by yourself. No, they're trying to get better, and they're trying to win via defense, because defense wins championships. Because the last time the Packers won the Super Bowl, they had one of the best defenses in the league. Another comparison to the Packers have been the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have been historically not very bold or risky when it comes to free agency. They build through the draft, and their ownership doesn't fire any coach. I don't remember the last time they fired a coach. Chuck Noll was there until he retired from 1970 till whenever, and 1990s-ish, and then he was replaced by Bill Cowher, who went on till 2005 and then retired. And then the Steelers need another coach. They hired Mike Tomlin, who is still there and is only 45 years old. It was honestly an amazing hire, and he won a Super Bowl. And, well, it's worked for the Steelers. I mean, they lose in the playoffs every year, but they get to the playoffs. This is the thing. The reason why the Packers will not get, out there and spend in free agency on, besides maybe an occasional Charles Woodson or Reggie White, is because, because they've seen what happened to other teams who have done that. I mean, just look at a recent example is Denver. They signed Peyton Manning in 2012, signed all these players in the offseason, kept, building up, and then eventually in 2015 they won a championship. But in the draft, they didn't build very well. So after that championship run, the team got worse and worse until it hit rock bottom in 2017 with a 5-11 record, and then they rock bottom again in 2020 with a 5-11 record because they didn't plan for the future properly by not securing on their QB after Peyton Manning's gone. So I know I'm jumping topics here a little quickly, but that's why the Packers drafted Jordan Love, because Aaron Rodgers, like the year they drafted Jordan Love, like the year prior, had only threw 25 touchdowns on a really iffy 13-3 Packers team, which I know sounds crazy. But the Packers were iffy. I mean, they barely they were 13-3, but they did not play like a 13-3 team, and they got their butt whooped in the NFC Championship game against the 49ers. So they were like, well, Rodgers has been lazy lately, so let's draft his replacement, see if that sparks a fire under him, which it did. It led to a 48-touchdown year for Aaron Rodgers, an MVP. And then in the NFC Championship game, the Packers forced 3 turnovers on Tom Brady, so you can't blame the defense. Well, except for that one. Except for Kevin King. You can blame Kevin King. And they only scored 6 points. I know the coach didn't go for it on 4th down, but I mean, there's got to be a reason. Why would you not trust Aaron Rodgers? Because there's something about Aaron Rodgers they do not trust. Or else they would have, thrown the ball with Aaron Rodgers, the MVP. I mean, Russell Wilson was trusted in the Super Bowl to beat Tom Brady on the final play, and it ended horribly because he threw an interception. But Pete Carroll trusted him. Why didn't the Packers trust Aaron Rodgers is the thing. And again, I'm jumping topics here, but that's why the Packers will not go out and spend in free agency. And another reason is because they have no cap space, because Aaron Rodgers does not want to take a pay cut. Like, this is the biggest thing, and this is the next topic, I guess. There have been so many QB trade demands this offseason, from Russell Wilson if he didn't get more weapons to Deshaun Watson if he didn't get more weapons or better help. Of course, Deshaun Watson just wants out of Houston, which makes sense, although I think he'll be heading to the Slammer. I think that's the best trade for him. Oh, too soon. Anyways, this is what I have a problem with, is that every quarterback watched Tom Brady go to the Buccaneers because, he went to the Buccaneers after having no weapons in New England his final year, and he won a Super Bowl because the team was loaded. And then they brought back everyone else because, and so they thought, well, if my team could just bring in players, then we could win a Super Bowl every year. The thing is, what they don't realize is Brady takes pay cuts. Like, this is what I have a problem with, is that they're not willing to sacrifice the money, which I guess makes sense because you need all the money you can get because there's a stupid salary cap, which is another thing. Like, the salary cap's honestly not that great. Not great for the player. It's great for the team. But if there was no salary cap, you could take as much money you want and sign whoever you want, but you can't do that with a salary cap. So that's why people like Tom Brady take a pay cut every, year, so they can bring in more players, free up cap space. So that's what he did in New England all that time, and that's how they won 6 Super Bowls. He did in Tampa this year, so that's how they brought back all 22 starters. And he only took a $25 million deal in Tampa, and so they won a Super Bowl. And so that's what no one understands, is that you need to sacrifice something. And what really, really bugs me about this whole Aaron Rodgers trade demand is that because they were this close to beating the Bucs, instead of going out and working in the offseason to get better and beat the Bucs, like, do everything you can like Brady did last year. He was having throwing sessions illegally, I guess, like they weren't official. So, if you got injured, you could get cut like Jawan James, Broncos right tackle, who got injured outside the facility. But he was organizing team throwing sessions where he'd throw to receivers and build chemistry in Florida and all that. But Aaron Rodgers didn't do anything like that this year. He just decided to hold out and wants more weapons, or to be traded to, say, a team like Denver, which I wouldn't mind. But again, that's another thing. It's like, why real quarterbacks would go to work and, try and get better so they can beat a Tom Brady in the playoffs, beat New Orleans Saints in the playoffs, or the Rams this year with Matthew Stafford. Not, sulk and cry in the corner for more weapons. I mean, even Russell Wilson was working out still while demanding a trade or demanding more weapons. But no. Aaron Rodgers is all crying in the corner because he won't get a weapon. I mean, he did get a weapon. He got Bryson DeChambeau on his team for the match part 4 actually, not part 2, against Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson. So that's quite a weapon. But that's beyond the point. Like if Aaron Rodgers, like another example is Ben Roethlisberger. Like that's a pretty close example to Aaron Rodgers because if you think about it, Ben Roethlisberger's weapons have seemed amazing in Pittsburgh, like Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown and Hines Ward. But after they left Pittsburgh, what did they do? I mean, what did Le'Veon Bell do as soon as he left Pittsburgh? He was terrible. Antonio Brown got in all the off-the-field issues as soon as he left Pittsburgh. And then as soon as Santonio Holmes left Pittsburgh, went to the Jets, and just kind of bombed there. I mean, he did have some good plays. He did make a few AFC Championship games with, Mark Sanchez, but you need to put in but he's never had like that great. And the Steelers as a team do not go out and sign free agents. They let Bud Dupree walk this offseason. I think they're going to keep TJ Watt, which is a great idea because he should have been Defensive Player of the Year. But they do not go out. But Ben Roethlisberger never complains about that. He just complains about the players he has on the team who dropped the ball. I mean, he's gotten a lot better, thankfully. But, and recently, Ben Roethlisberger could have been cut by the Steelers this offseason because he had a massive cap hit of like $41 million. But no, Ben Roethlisberger sat down and took a pay cut so he could stay with the team and say what you want about Ben Roethlisberger, but he has not had a losing season in years. Like, he has been extremely consistent and still plays at a good level, granted against bad teams mostly, but he's willing to sacrifice all that so he can keep with the team. So in conclusion, the Packers will not trade Aaron, will not go out and sign free agents because it's, that's how you end up with bad teams. That's how you end up with down years, and you don't want that in the smallest market in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers is lazy. And that about sums it up. This has been episode 1 of Ruffing the Passer on YouTube. Subscribe and like below. Comment. Share this video with your friends. Click the notification bell. All of that. And see you later.